Okay. Okay, people. Yeah. Before we get anywhere with this, how the hell are you? Third to that. And I'm going to skip right over for the second to that and go straight to the third of that. There's a scene. There is a scene in this film, Elvis. Sorry, Experience film Elvis. That I find almost too weird to even be weird. And that's the circus. And that circus scene. First of all, why would you put Elvis in a First of all, why would you put Elvis meeting Colonel Sanders? And I don't... no, I mean, Colonel Sanders. That's a cute one there. I meant Colonel Tom Parker. Why in the name of Austin Butler would you put what in the name of Austin Butler are you doing putting Elvis into that circus scene in the 40s when Elvis wasn't even a man in the 40s? I mean, wow! I don't mean to be a spoiler alert. I don't mean to spoil the spoiler if anyone hasn't seen it, but I mean that right there did not even happen. These bio things are supposed to give you an inside look of what happened in real life. Everything that happened in this did happen in Elvis's life. In Elvis's life and the Colonel's life. But that circus scene is just destroying. But that circus scene is just overdoing it. Elvin Presley. Like that is the only scene that deserves a tomato. The rest of the film is shockingly real. It's shockingly true. The rest of it is shockingly true. Because because in life that was who Elvis actually was. But that one scene where the Colonel and Elvis meet at the circus where he was. I mean, Elvis wasn't even born yet. No, he was born, but like Elvin was not good. Like Elvin Presley, like Elvis was a kid in the 40s. So how do you get around that? It's like the next thing that you would like I mean Jesse Guerin. The next thing you had to do was put Jesse Guerin in this thing and make it that he actually didn't die, you know? Like, what is the... Well, I mean... Jesse Guerin Presley is Elvis' twin, and if you had done that, and if you had put... And if somebody had wrote in that Jesse Guerin grew up with Elvis in this. Again, it did not happen in life. And that would have been the same, and that would be the same, and that would be the same as putting Elvis in that scene with the Colonel when they met at the circus. Like, I mean, that's out of line. It's funny for a gag, but it's funny as a gag, okay? But that didn't really happen. Same as the Jesse Guerin thing that I just mentioned. Like, it'd be hilarious for a gag if you wanted to do a film or put a thing in this where Jesse Guerin did live and grew up with Elvis, you know, it would have been doing something like that. Like, it's out of line. It's out of focus. It didn't happen. So why would you put Elvis and the Colonel meeting at the circus, meeting at that one circus that Elvis had nothing to do with in real life, and then you go ahead and put it in this? Sorry, and then somebody, I didn't mean to say you, somebody had the nerve to put that in this. Like here's an idea. How about write Jesse Guerin in there? And then have it that he grew up with Elvis. Same thing, same thing. It is out of line. And it's the one thing that didn't happen. So why on I'm not trying to come down on anybody. I'm not trying to sledgehammer anybody into thinking that, oh, this is what you should have not done. I'm saying it's out of focus. It's out of range. Elvis, like it's not true. Like, it's true and it's not. Like, it's true and it's not true at the same time. That Elvis knew Colonel Tom really long, for a real long time, and so you're right in that sense to put that in there, saying that Elvis and the Colonel knew each other that long, but they didn't know each other that long. You know, I mean, Elvis did not go into any circus with any girlfriend or friends in general, and happens to meet the Colonel there. I mean, that's overdubbing something that should not have been overdubbed. Like, I mean, that is overdubbing an event that didn't actually occur in Elvis's life, because he was still a kid at that point. Same with that lightning thing that he had on him. That again, like, it. He never had anything like that. You know, they were poor in Tupelo, so how could Elvis afford getting that lightning strike thing that he was wearing? He couldn't even afford the teeth in his head, let alone a lightning rod shaped necklace. He couldn't even afford the hair on his. He couldn't even afford the teeth in his head, let alone that giant lightning strike necklace. So again, you're making Elvis look like someone wrote Elvis in there to look like he could afford these things when he actually couldn't in life. So just, you know, you can't do that to, like, I mean, but other than the lightning strike, you know, symbol that he wore, as a kid in this. And that scene where he meets Colonel Tom Parker at the circus, which did not occur in real life. It's funny to think of that, as it could have happened, but it didn't happen. But other than that, everything in this thing did happen in real life. Like the odd thing, like Hank Snow having, didn't even sound like Hank Snow, and maybe the odd other thing that didn't happen, but other than that fancy lightning strike shaped necklace Elvis had as a kid in this, and meeting Colonel Tom Parker at the circus, those things did not occur. Those things did not occur, okay? Did not occur. And since I brought up the Hank Snow bit, you could have had a longer scene with Hank Snow in it, and have him sound and look a little like Hank Snow in real life. But other than that, it was written to be it. But other than that, he got everything right in this thing, except for the two things: the lightning strike necklace when he was a kid, and meeting Colonel Tom Parker at the circus. Never happened. It never happened. Colonel Tom Parker went to a show, and Elvis was there, and he was introduced to Elvis right there, at that show, when Elvis was doing his thing on stage. That's what happened. There was no, I think I'm going to go to the circus and meet and meet my destiny there, because that didn't happen. That was not true. Elvis did not know of the Colonel until the Colonel went to... Neither of them knew who they were. Neither of them met until after the Colonel saw him do his thing on stage at a show, and then he was trying to get in touch with them. That was the meeting. That was the meeting of those guys. Let's not throw the circus. Let's not throw a 1940s circus in there. Let's not do anything. Like you did everything right, but you just didn't. Like you did everything right with this film, but you didn't have to write in that one scene where they met at the circus. It's funny. It's relevant and funny to think that they met at the circus, but they didn't. Elvis met Colonel Tom Parker in a diner-oriented restaurant after Elvis did one of his shows, and then they became, compadres, and then friends, and then they made a deal, and that he'd be his manager. So I just thought I'd do this thing based on the fact that Elvis and the Colonel never met at the circus. That is a far-blown idea that is funny to see, but it didn't actually happen or occur. So I'm not telling anybody what to do there. I'm not saying don't go for it and don't put that in there, but that's the one part in Elvis's life that he was not there for. That's all I'm saying about that, because, and I don't want to make this any, I don't want to stretch this out any further than I already did, but it would have been fine if you just put Elvis. It would have been fine if you just paid attention to what Elvis and the Colonel it would have been fine if you just, like, you know, it would have been fine if that scene was edited out. And I hope if there's a Blu-ray of this, there's something in there that, and I hope if there's a Blu-ray of this coming out anytime soon or anytime in the future, you find a way to take that scene out of there, because it's very confusing. You know, that circus scene, it's funny, but it's confusing at the same time because it didn't happen. Having said that, I hope I didn't confuse people, and I hope I didn't say something that made people. Having said that, I hope I didn't confuse anybody who hasn't seen this yet, and I hope I set the record straight on. And I hope I did set the record straight on how Elvis and the Colonel actually did me.